Have been some tense moments right here in the East Bay where several hundred protesters have been gathering all day near Coast Guard Island along the Oakland-Alameda border, where federal agents were originally supposed to be based for this impending operation.
Yeah, and our own Henry Lee has been out there all throughout the day monitoring the situation here as tensions have sort of been rising as we move throughout the afternoon hours. Let's bring Henry into the conversation. Henry, how do things look at this point?
Well, this hour, guys, things are pretty calm. At times, it's felt more like a street fest with people dancing, dressed up in costumes, but there have been some skirmishes. Let's show you some video from earlier today. Now, CHP officers were in riot gear. They came as a strong show of force to greet protesters, even as the threat of a federal immigration crackdown dissipated today. Our cameras were rolling as the CHP made this arrest, one of two, near the corner of Denison and Embarcadero in Oakland, the only way in and out of Coast Guard Island. Now, earlier this afternoon, CHP officers began trying to clear the intersection of foot traffic as well as cars that were blocking the street corner. They said civilians had to leave the island. And this morning, there were two flashbang grenades deployed by the Border Patrol agents at the island's entrance. There were also some smoke bombs deployed that allowed agents to drive in. Now, one smoke bomb went off on a man's face. He told KTVU he's a local church pastor and wanted to make clear he was protesting peacefully.
I came just saying we're here in peace, and he didn't care. So there's nothing else to say. Then clearly he wanted to cause harm to me.
Now, just about 10 minutes ago, the entire contingent of CHP officers that were here in riot gear suddenly left. They drove off in their cars. Now, they did clear the area for civilian cars to leave. And as far as why CHP was here, I have learned from a knowledgeable source that Oakland Police and the Alameda County Sheriff's Office both said no when asked to help clear the intersection. So that's why the Highway Patrol came and now has left. Live in Oakland, Henry Lee, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
And Henry, this question came up just a moment ago, and I'm not sure we have much clarity here, but in terms of the federal immigration agents who've arrived there at Coast Guard Island, do we know anything more about their status or how long they may remain there?
No, but throughout the day we've seen possible agents drive in, force their way in after beeping, and then walk in even. But behind me right now is just a line of U.S. Coast Guard security forces that we've seen here all day. Unknown whether there are still any agents that are on the island waiting to get out. But again, one thing as far as infrastructure, as you know, only one way in, one way out. Don't know if that was advantageous or not for the Trump administration.
Yeah, and Henry, really quickly before we let you go, after talking with demonstrators and things, did you get a sense about how long they plan to be here at the Coast Guard base?
Yeah, keep in mind, they've been here throughout the day, even before the pause or cancellation of this crackdown. So it was unclear to me when we first got here whether they had even heard about that news. But obviously they arguably want to block the island, close the island, make sure that they see with their very own face, their own eyes, that there are no agents coming. So unclear how long they'll stay, but they seem to be out here for the long haul.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this pause in the operation may affect the plans of protesters here. Okay, Henry Lee, live for us near Coast Guard Island in Alameda. Henry, thank you for that.